Hello my fellow fountain pen enthusiasts, Aaron here with another pen news video, and it's been about a month since I've done one of these videos, and I'm going to kind of jump right in. Today has been fairly quiet in the pen launches or pen news for a while now. This video may not be quite as long. I have really kind of three different types of pens to talk about, and we're going to jump right in. So the first one that I have is the Moonman M600S. And this one is available in two different color options right now. So two new colors. So we have the Delike Blue Resin, which is the first image that I'm going to pop up here. Now this is available through eBay, and the seller is Easy Buy. And the price for both of these pens is $24.50. You have three nib options. You have a fine nib, a medium, and a bent nib. Or you can choose to pay $27.50 and get all three nibs shipped with the pen. Now this, of course, the first one here is a really nice, they call this Delike Blue Resin, but it's a really nice green resin material. It has that icy look to it. Of course, you kind of have a lighter background with it, which kind of shows a little bit of a transparent property to the material. And then you have those nice green kind of icy, dark green icy shades to it. And I think it looks really, really nice. Moving on to image number 2. Again, we just kind of get another image of the pen in its full capped form. Everything else about the pen is the same as any other M600S. The clip's the same, all the metal facets, the section, everything else is going to be the same. Again, here we see another image of the pen capped. The lighting in this image definitely looks different, so I think it kind of gives you a different shade or different look of that resin. And then, of course, if you get it with the fine nib option, you're going to get one of those Moonman nibs, which I think are really solid nibs. They write well. I haven't had any Moonman pens since they went to these nibs that has really, truly disappointed me from a writing perspective. And then here's another image, kind of again, just showing the section, showing the nib. It's a really good image to kind of see that. Also see the pen uncapped and kind of see that material again in a different lighting and a little bit different background. And then lastly, now we see it with the showing that it is a cartridge converter setup. The innards are going to be the same as all your other M600S fountain pens. Now moving on to the next one, this one is the Icy Blue Resin. This has the exact same nib options, of course, same seller and same pricing. So $24.50 for the pen, and then of course you have three nib options. I really like this one. Again, it has that same iced look to it with a light background with that nice blue vein or blue cracks to it. It looks really, really nice. Here again, you see the pen uncapped, same nib option for this pen. This kind of gives you a nice look at the cap and everything else, kind of see that transparent properties. You can actually see some of the cap threads through that actual material, and it looks, to me, really nice. Again, here you see it now in its capped form, just like you saw in the Delike Blue version. It looks, again, very, very nice. And we'll throw up one last image just for argument, just so you can kind of see that beautiful material. So really, really excited. I mean, we've got a lot of different options on the M600S lineup on the Moonman. I think now, you know, the first original launch, I think it was about, what, 3 colors. We had, I think, 2 more released after that, and then there was a 5th or a 6th one released. I think we're now up to like 8 or 9 colors, give or take, of the M600S. So a lot of different color options that have been released and are potentially still available out there. So again, really nice on that. Now moving on to our next pen, and this, so Delike has been fairly quiet for a while. I mean, as far as just different models that they've been launching, but recently, of course, they launched their Element line, which are brass fountain pens. They had the antique brass, and then they had the kind of polished brass, which is the original one they launched, and that's kind of like a, again, kind of a play on a Kaweco line of pens. And now they have launched they're part of their Delike New Moon line, which is kind of like a Sailor Pro Gear styled fountain pen. But now they've got it available in some very nice acrylic materials. So I'm going to pop the first image up here. And this is really nice. So you see 3 different color options. That's really, from what I've been able to tell, that's mainly what's available right now. So this pen, again, it's the Delike New Moon Resin. It's available really through several sellers. The prices are going to range. I've seen the low end being around $19 and the high end being $25. So I would say you can get it for around that $20 price point, which to me is a really great price point. It does have different nib options. You have an extra fine, a fine, and their bent nib, which is really kind of like a fine nib. Now, those nibs, as far as the line width variation, so the extra fine is going to be 0.38 millimeters, the fine is going to be 0.58 millimeters, and the bent is going to be 0.6 millimeters. Now the sizing for this pen, so full size, this is basically in the images as you see here with its capped form, it's 125 millimeters. So not an extremely large pen. Diameter of it is 13 millimeters and the weight is 23 grams. So, you know, again, not an overly sized pen, but I think it's a good sized pen. And, you know, if you own a Sailor Pro Gear or a Sailor Pro Gear Slim, I'd say it's kind of in that Pro Gear Slim range. But again, nice pen. Now it is available again in 3 colors. They have the blue marble, the green marble, and the dark rose. Now I've already ordered one of these pens and I've actually already received the pen. That's how long ago I found out about these pens. So we're gonna move on to image number 2, and this is really kind of showing off the blue marble here. I really like this one. I kind of went back and forth on what I was going to order, and this one was definitely one that I was really into. And I'll reveal here in a moment which pen I ordered and already received. Now again, moving on to image number 2, kind of shows a side profile of that blue marble fountain pen. Again, it's a very attractive, more of a dark blue or kind of almost a royal blue, but it looks really nice. Now here you see the pen, and it's basically showing that it is a cartridge converter setup. Now obviously you can see that this section is going to be this exact same material as the rest of the pen, which I love that touch. But just to kind of give you an idea, you know, decent, very nice converter. We'll get a better image of the nib here in a moment in upcoming images. Now here's one, this is another one that I really like. This is the green marble pen. And this one, of course, you see it in its uncapped form. This is a extremely attractive pen. There's a lot of colors going on there, but I just think, I don't know what it is about pens that take on this type of look that just kind of call to me. And this is a really nice one. Now here we see the different nib lineups. I really like this image, kind of shows you what those nibs look like, so to speak. So again, you see the fine on top. There's actually a little bit of a writing sample just to give you an idea from a line width variation. And then you see the extra fine, and then you see the bent down below. I happen to really enjoy Delike's bent nibs. They're great nibs. They're very smooth. Every Delike pen that I own that has that bent nib, I have not been dissatisfied with it whatsoever. It's actually been one of my better writers. I wish they had a number 6 option. Now their nibs are primarily going to be number 5s. I wish they had a number 6 option in their bent nibs, because that would just be amazing if they did. If anybody knows if they do, please comment down below where you can order one. And trust me, I will definitely order some. Now moving on to the next image, again, we're just going to take a quick look at the blue marble. It's kind of showing, again, a little bit more of a close-up image of the fine nib variation. So just to kind of give you an idea of what that nib looks like, or the nib tipping material, so to speak. And then again, we see that green marble here. The green marble, again, is just, I can't begin to talk about how beautiful it is. It really, to me, it looks like stained glass is what it looks like. And of course, here you see the bent nib option. And then our next one is the dark rose. This one's probably not my favorite. Granted, I'm not a huge red person, but this one's probably not my favorite. It's definitely darker. I think it looks very attractive. Seen this same type of resin material, I think, on a Moonman M600S. Very similar. I think even Chris Rap 52 did a review on one of his M600Ss, and it was kind of a very similar material to this. And then here we actually see the dark rose. Again, this is just showing the pen uncapped. The section, everything else is going to be exactly the same. So very cool pen. I think for around 20 bucks, this is a steal. It's a great pen. And of course, I already received mine. So I figured I would kind of just show that real quick, and I would actually show you. I've not inked it up, but I would show you which one I ordered. So most of you that are probably watching already figured out, but of course I had to order this one. The lighting is not perfect for this, but you can kind of see that material. And I mean, it is just stunning in person. It is very, very attractive. It definitely has some really nice transparent properties to it. And I mean, you can almost, it is literally looks like stained glass. You can almost see through it. The one knock I would give, and I'm not doing a review of this pen, is the nib is because it's a number 5 nib, I think it would look a lot better with a number 6. Very similar to a Sailor pen, you know, a nice big nib. But either way, it's an attractive pen. I can't wait to ink this up and actually start writing with it. So, of course, there will be a review coming on the pen, so just wait for that. All right, so moving on to our next one. So I've got a couple more pens actually to talk about. And the next one is actually a Fuliwen model. And that Fuliwen is the Fuliwen 017. So we've already talked about the 017. But there's not a lot of 017s left available. Now, when Fuliwen originally kind of launched this, I don't think there was a ton of materials available for the pens, or really just a ton of them made, so we didn't get to see a lot of them come to the market. But there have been a few other colors kind of pop up here and there, and one of them is the Fuliwen Harbour Sunset. And this is a very attractive pen. So it's available through Easy Buy, both on their eBay store and their Etsy store, for $26.50. So I'm going to pop up the first image. And here you kind of see the pen, and it is very, I think it's very attractive. So it's got a lot of different colors. Of course, you see red in there, purple, blue, and you know, it's got a lot of swirls. Now, of course, each pen's got to look a little bit different based off of the cut that you get and everything like that. But I think this is a really, really cool looking pen. And I actually ordered one of these because I know they keep selling out really fast. So I actually went ahead and ordered one of these. So I'm excited to see it once I get it. Now, there's been some other colors that I've seen on through Instagram and stuff. I have not seen those be offered to Western markets. So maybe at some point they will. Maybe that's just something that we won't see, unfortunately. But I really like this color. Here we see the second image here. It's kind of funny, you actually see the images behind in the computer screen. But this is, again, another image. I think what's cool about this one, this kind of reminds me, the material specifically reminds me of my Moonman C1, the actual section. The colors are very similar to what my C1 looks like. So I know that I may not even get these exact same colors when I receive my pen, but I think it still will be really cool. And I really, I just recently did my Fuliwen 017 review from an aesthetic viewpoint and from a lot of different viewpoints. I really enjoy that pen. So I'm glad that I'm going to be adding a second one to my collection. And here we see our third image. This is actually the last image that I have, just to give you a little bit of an image without the snake clip. And it's kind of cool in this image. You know, I know all the pens are going to be different, but the cap and the body, they almost don't entirely match from a pattern perspective. I actually like that. I know some people may not like that. I think it looks really cool personally. I think it kind of stands out to me. And it makes the pen seem unique, in my opinion. It makes it look like and feel like a handmade fountain pen. And I think it looks really nice. So $26.50 is what this is going for. There are still other colors available. I've seen a few on Etsy. There's a couple, there's not very many left on eBay right now, at least through the eBay, you know, at least through my eBay. But there are some available, but there are quite a few still available on Etsy. So if you're, you know, depending upon, I would just shop around. This one is available through Easy Buy, both on their Etsy and their eBay store. And again, I think there's some other sellers that have some of them available right now for varying prices. All right, so we're gonna move on to our last really pen news item. And this is, I think, another cool one. Wingsung, we're gonna talk about Wingsung now. We're trying to, you know, we're talking about different pen manufacturers right now. So Wingsung has launched their 6999, and since they launched that original brown translucent fountain pen, they've now come out with a clear one. And now they've come out with a translucent black one, which I think, again, is really cool. So I'm going to pop the image up here. There's not a lot of images available for it. I really like this pen. I actually like it better than the clear one. This is one that I'm tempted to maybe add to my collection, especially considering you can actually get this pen for around or just under $20. So I actually enjoy my 699. I haven't had any issues with it. I know some people have said they've had some issues with theirs as far as it drying out and things, you know, having hard start issues. I have personally not had any of those issues. I enjoy mine. So again, this is the Wingsung 699 Translucent Black. It's available for around $20. There are different sellers that have it available right now on eBay. I haven't checked on Etsy. I've mainly seen it on eBay. This is the only image that I have, but I think this is really the only image you need. Of course, the section on here is black. I have not seen one with a clear, like smoked section. But again, this is a pen that mimics the Pilot Custom 823, and I know the 823 has basically all these colors available, so it kind of makes sense for Wingsung to do this, I guess, in essence. So I definitely will say this is the poor man's 823 fountain pen. If you don't want to spend $250, $300 on the 823, this at least will give you some of those aspects of the 823 at a much, obviously, more economical price point. So that is all I have. Not, like I said, not as much. We're at 16 and a half minutes now on the video. I've of course got upcoming reviews. So my next review is going to actually be the Wingsung 601A with the gold cap. I'm really excited to review that fountain pen. Of course, I will do the Delike fountain pen soon. But I've also got some other pens that I need to actually review as well. So that will fall in line at some point. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Until next time, please take care out there. I promise I'll be uploading more videos right now. I don't have any traveling plans for a while, so I should be uploading videos for the foreseeable future. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.